What Corey Graves needs to understand, he has nothing to prove. He's already proved himself. Go to NXT. Go down there and help those guys down there that need your help. Educate them and learn them about this broadcast business. And the main thing is you're still getting a check. So what is the problem?
Right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. And Teddy, last week we got lucky because, it was just you and I hanging out, and today we're back to the same old thing again.
So what are you trying to say, that last week we got lucky and now we're back to the same old stuff? Please tell us exactly how you really feel.
Wait a minute. You guys had Eric Bischoff here last week.
We did, actually.
Yes, we did, Bill.
The person that we were missing last week, in all honesty, he was gone on assignment, but the assignment was actually something very special, and I want to congratulate you, Bill.
Wasn't that special about that assignment? That was at a strip club.
Yeah, but they still awarded me something at the strip club.
Of course they awarded you something.
He got a Hall of Fame ring and a bronze plaque, and this is from the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. Back it up just a little bit there and give it a second, let it focus in.
And, nice, Bill. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, that's how was the experience? I know that Kurt Angle was there.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. We did a Q&A with Kurt. There were about 70 people, 75 people there. It was a very intimate setting, and it was great. I was just totally knocked out over this. This is like the best. It really is.
Those rings that you're holding there, I've seen those over the years because they've been presenting those from the first year on. And those rings are some really nice looking things. I've seen those go, wow, really nice.
I want to thank Seth Turner and the Ty and the entire board of directors of the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame for recognizing me after all these years.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
And I want to say this to you, Bill. You know, this is something that you certainly deserve. You've been in this business over 50-some years. I met you when I first started putting up the ring, taking the ring down. I met Bill Apter. So you certainly been a pioneer, and that award, that ring, you certainly deserve it, man. And once again, congratulations to you.
Thank you. I really, coming from you and Mac, that means so much to me. It really does.
I didn't say congratulations.
I don't know about Mac.
No, well, I can tell you from. I can tell you right now, having worked with Bill over all these years, he deserves every bit of recognition that he gets in this business. I don't care where it comes from. And I'm still waiting for you to get that induction into the WWE Hall of Fame, because I do believe that there is a place for you in that Hall of Fame. I've always felt that way because there are very few people who did what you did at that time, when I know a lot of people who didn't live back then don't understand how media worked and the publications and how magazines and how important they really were. Your purpose in wrestling needs to be shined, and it should be done at the WWE Hall of Fame.
You know, the whole thing is more than any photo I shot, more than any column I wrote, was, and Teddy will back me up on this, was a relationship with the boys and the girls, of course, in the business. Because once you're accepted, you're in a world that's almost was a closed society back then. Yes. And people like Bruno Sammartino, Gorilla Monsoon, Vince Sr., Teddy, Ole Anderson, Joe Pedicino, Gordon Soley, they let me in, and they put me on TV, and that's how the fans got to know me and associate me with the magazine. So I really appreciate all the love. I really do.
I'm getting an alert on my phone, so hang on for just a minute. I'm trying to figure out why this thing's buzzing through so much.
It's probably Eric Bischoff wondering why he's not on the show.
Okay, hang on. This breaking news. A WWE superstar has been reported to be missing. Officials say that after the recent Raw and SmackDown debuts, no one has seen Corey Graves. Bill, what's the deal with Corey Graves? Where has he disappeared to?
Corey posted something probably an hour ago before we taped this, that he's been, and I don't think he used the word demoted, but he's going to be on NXT. He felt he was doing a great job on the main rosters, and all of a sudden, we're sending you back down to NXT. Is it a demotion? He's still with the company, so to say, but I think his feelings are very hurt. He's great at what he does. But again, it's a new corporation. They're juggling people all around the place, and he might not be the only one going there, but I don't think he's very happy.
Teddy, what are your thoughts on Corey Graves not really being on the main rosters anymore?
Well, I like Corey Graves. He's a real nice guy, man. And every time I'm there, I see him and me and him get a chance to talk. But Corey Graves has to understand, sometimes these guys get in this business and they get in and they take it too serious. What Corey Graves needs to understand, he has nothing to prove. He's already proved himself. Go to NXT. Go down there and help those guys down there that need your help. Educate them and learn them about this broadcast business. And the main thing is you're still getting a check. So what is the problem?
Right.
Okay, you're employed, man. You're still getting a check. And like I said, he don't know. Life will be a lot easier probably in NXT than it would be being on that main roster because that thing is really busy. NXT, you can relax a little bit. So, like I said, if I was him, I'd just go down there, do whatever I'm told to do, get my check, and who knows, you might end up liking it.
The impact of Corey Graves on the broadcast. I can be honest and tell you that I watched both Raw and SmackDown debuts for 2025, and I immediately at the end of both of them, well, actually the beginning of SmackDown when it aired on Friday was immediate. Where is Corey Graves?
Yeah,
it was like that. Nobody said a word. It's like, what happened to Corey Graves? He's just disappeared. Now, I do think there's a possibility because I also have seen just now that they're saying he is no longer being advertised to be on tonight's show, and he was supposed to be on the show tonight.
That's
on
when
NXT.
we're taping this.
As we're taping this, so it appears now that he won't be there.
Well, I hope that Corey doesn't a little matter like this, take this too serious. Man, you got a job. There's so many people out there right now wish that they were in your position and had a job. You know what I mean? So, get your check and just do what you're told. This is the wrestling business, okay? I know you've been in it long enough to understand this, okay?
There's a matter of personal, we'll call it ego or pride that goes along with it. Yeah.
Okay, you brought this up. I'll mention this to you, Bill, and I guarantee you'll love this. Take a look at me. I had worked in WCW for all those years, managing Butcher Reed, Ron Simmons. I had the first African-American World Tag Team Champions, Johnny B. Bad, all kinds of guys. Went to Vince McMahon and put on a referee shirt.
Yeah. Which is what you started off as.
Right. So did I go to Vince complaining, hey, man, I'm better than a referee. I used to manage all these. That ain't how to play the game. You want me to be a referee? Just give me my check.
Well, also NXT is taking strides forward now at this point.
But they're still not considered a main roster area. It's not an A show or a B show. In fact, there's a lot of people, myself included, I do not watch NXT. It's just not something I tune into. I only stay with the main programs. So there's a lot of people who will believe that he's disappeared. If they don't watch NXT, they don't know what the hell happened to Corey Graves.
Now, remember, The Rock was on there last week.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's not beneath The Rock to go to NXT, what are you talking about, Corey?
Thank you.
Saturday night's main event is coming back on January 25th, and it's going to feature the Ring General, Gunther, versus the main event, Jey Uso. What do you think, Teddy? Could this be Jay's moment finally?
It is Jay's moment, finally. Okay. I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait to watch it because you take Gunther, like I've always said, this man has certainly come a long way in a short time. He is phenomenal. And Jey Uso, seasoned veteran, man, these two guys are going to really put on a hell of a match.
Bill, what do you think?
What is wrong with you?
The other guy, right. It says Apter.
Y'all look so much alike. It's hard for me to tell.
I know. Okay. Well, I'm just a little bit darker than him, and that's because of my tan.
Oh, wait a minute. That's racial. Put it down.
Teddy was telling me something earlier. What was it, Teddy? We were talking on the telephone, and I told you something. You said, well, that's just that white privilege. And I said, no, that's that wife privilege.
Right.
Oh, he was telling me how good he had it. He didn't have to worry about cooking, and he had the wife to lay the food all out on the red carpet. So I told him, I said, yeah, that's that white privilege. I got it.
Yeah. I said, no, that's the wife privilege.
Getting to your question about Jey Uso.
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be a great match, but yeet rhymes with beat, B-E-A-T. Unfortunately, Jey Uso, as fabulous as he is not the guy to take the title away from Gunther. He's over huge. He doesn't need the belt, but Gunther needs to keep that belt, in my opinion, at least until WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. I would love to see Jey win that belt, but the reality is, just like you said, the second I saw that, I was like, no, it's not time for Gunther to lose that title. It needs to go to WrestleMania, and it needs to be something big because he's had it for so long. It's got to be somebody special.
Mark my words, yeet rhymes with beat.
And it's possible that maybe Gunther eventually will end up facing off with Braun Breaker, who, by the way, will also have a match at Saturday night's main event. And Braun Breaker will be facing Sheamus. So that's going to be a hard-hitting match right there, Bill.
Two hotheads going at it. It's going to be one of these matches where you're not going to see arm locks and headlocks. And it's going to be a battle, an absolute battle. And I think... Braun Breaker is going to retain the title, as tough as that match is going to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Teddy, what do you think?
I kind of agree with you guys, man. I think you'll retain the title too, because I don't really think right now it's time to take that off of him. You know what I mean? They did one deal with him and Jey Uso where they took the title off of him. So now you put it back on him. So now let's let him run for a minute.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too. Now, we did get a debut on the recent episode of Raw, and that was Penta, who made his debut in WWE. Bill, what were your thoughts? Now, I saw somewhere, I don't know, were you happy with the debut or not happy with the debut?
Mixed, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'm old school, and I would have rather had Penta in there against a guy he could squash and show everything. So the fans would be like, oh, because the fans were waiting to see him. A lot of fans, of course, watched him in Lucha Underground and AEW. Chad Gable looked brilliant in that match, too. Again, that was a wrestling match. And I think that Penta, and it looked like he had legitimately hurt himself, his leg, but I understand he didn't. He was just selling that injury. But I would have liked to have seen him more not working from underneath in that particular match. I thought it was an okay debut, but not the type of thing where back in the old days again, you'd have somebody debut and you'd put him in against a journeyman or something, and after 4 or 5 minutes the guy is beaten.
Teddy, what were your thoughts on the debut?
I didn't see the debut, so I can't speak on it.
I will say this, that I noticed Chad Gable was working the opposite side. When you're dancing with somebody, you tend to work certain sides of a person's body. So let's just say it's left and right. Normally, the guys would work on the left side. It ended up being that because of the Mexican luchador background, that Penta didn't really know how to work from the other side that comfortably. So Chad Gable was chosen because he knew how to working the other side. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that's why he was chosen. That's what I've heard today, and it makes perfect sense. I thought the Penta thing was really good. I thought his promo at the end of the match, I thought was very heartfelt. It seemed very real. But now there have been rumors today, Bill, online, saying that he's already got some heat in the back for due to going over with his time limit.
I've heard the same thing.
I'm confused by that, because if he went over time, and there's some guys in the back, they say, who got upset because their times were cut short because he went long, I would understand that. But this particular episode of Raw was short. It didn't even go a full 3 hours.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I don't understand. Nobody had their time cut because they still had another, 40 minutes to go if they wanted to.
I think that was one of the things originally when they talked about going to Netflix was that there's not going to be any time constraints.
Yeah.
You can go longer or shorter.
Yeah. So I don't know why he would be catching heat in the back already. Teddy, would that surprise you?
No, that wouldn't surprise me. Here's a guy that just walked back there. You know what I mean? Now he hears that somebody's went over. Now he's got a problem with it. Well, you cut into my time. Well, I was there one time. I don't think it was a WrestleMania. It might have been in Atlanta. I know it was a Rock and Big Show was there. Well, Rock went out. You know you ain't going to tell him to quit talking. So he's not going to quit talking until he's finished.
Yeah.
Well, Big Show was back complaining about Rock had went over his time. And, now his match was cut short. Jesus Christ, Big Show, you ought to be glad your match is cut short. You ain't got to do a whole lot. You know what I mean? So, God, y'all don't get it, do you? You just don't get it.
I will tell you one thing, though. In terms of the fashion police, Penta gets a 10. Excellent.
Did you notice?
Outfit.
Did you notice who he was giving a nod to?
I did not. Oh, his family.
Well, La Parka. If you look at his outfit, he was giving a nod to La Parka. I kept thinking the entire time, why does he remind me of La Parka? And I pulled up a picture, and it's the same outfit La Parka wore.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool to see that. He was just giving a nod to La Parka, who a lot of
worn
people
that same
compare him
outfit.
to.
He's worn that same gimmick for a long time. What I'd like to do is when he debuts at Madison Square Garden, I'd like him to change his name and become La Central Parka.
La Central Parka. I think we may have lost Teddy. There he is.
I'm back.
Okay.